Alright, welcome LEGO fans and robot fans to episode 2 of Build Brick 09's Mindstorms videos. And today, if you're following along in the book, which I told you about in episode 1, the LEGO Mindstorms NXT 2.0 Discovery book, found at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if they'll still carry these, they're a little outdated, but hopefully you can find these somewhere. If not there, I'm sure you can find them on Amazon or eBay or something like that. But anyway, if you're following along the book, approximately every episode will be devoted to one chapter of this book. I'm not going verbatim, I'm basically just skimming the essentials, but I think it's a good supplement, if you will, because you actually get to see what I'm doing. Now this chapter is mostly just building the robot, and as you can see I've already done that. So this will probably be a pretty short episode. I'll just give you a few tips and hints on building. It is a complicated build. You're probably going to make a few mistakes before the end. I'll also show you how to connect the cables, and we're also going to be looking at how to use the NXT buttons to navigate the NXT Brick. And then finally, well actually that'll be it for this episode. But then the next episode we'll get to programming, and that's where the fun begins. We'll get to see some robots moving around and doing things. So that'll be awesome. But for this episode, we're going to build the Explorer. So in Chapter 1, we learned that a robot consists of several important components, namely the NXT Brick, lots of Technic pieces. For an explanation of what Technic is, check out Episode 1, or just look up LEGO Technic. The cables, of course, motors, sensors. This one does not have any sensors at the moment, but I showed you what different sensors look like in the last one. And then, of course, we looked at the USB cable, the charging cable, and all that good stuff. But anyway, this episode, actually in this chapter, it tells you step-by-step instructions on how to build the model that you see before you. I did have to make a couple modifications just because I didn't have the pieces. I think is meant for a updated version of the set, but at least for the most part I think I'll be able to manage. Shows you some building tips, tells you why axles have those numbers beside them. It's because they line up with the number of holes on a beam, a Technic beam. So it tells you how you'll be able to figure that out. Also tells you about friction and non-friction pins, so make sure you read through that. Most of this stuff hardcore LEGO fans will already know though. But yeah, as you can see, you got lots of pins and lots of holes, so make sure that they line up properly. That is all important. Big NXT brick, of course. And then a lot of this is actually just devoted to that third wheel at the front. It'll make it a little easier to turn. So for me, it probably took about half an hour to put this together. I have done some of this before, but it's been a while, so I needed to refresh myself and go back to the basics. For a beginner, it's probably going to take you a little longer just because you have to look carefully at all the different beams, the axles, the pins, make sure you got the right kinds of pins. And it doesn't help that it's in black and white. I don't know why you did it that way. I'm sure it was cheaper to print the book that way, but yeah, so it's a little harder because it's not in color like most of us are used to. But anyway, let me just show you a few things. Can't really help you out a whole lot on this episode. You're pretty much left to your own devices on how to build it. He gives you a few tips, I'll try and give you a few tips. But other than that, I'll just be showing you how to use the NXT buttons. And I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, just had to make a slight modification to the model real quick. So, main thing I want to show you is how to hook up the cables. So I'll go and take one out of here real quick. So as you can see, these are the ends of them. We have the little clippy things here, and that's what's going to secure it in place. These are the medium length cables. You also get some short and long cables in there as well. I think you get one of each, or you might get two long ones. I know you just get one short one though. I think you get about 4 of these medium ones though. So just to hook it in, pretty simple. Just line it up with the shape of the cable, and it just goes in like so. Actually, no, you know what? It's supposed to be B and C for this one, I remember. So just hook it in there like that. You'll hear it click, and then do it on the other side as well. So pretty simple stuff. And make sure that the cables are not in the way of the wheels, of course. Otherwise we'll have some problems, to say the least. So other than that, that's about all I can help you with. Just make sure you're using the right kinds of pins. Look closely, especially since it's not in color. But other than that, that's about all I can help you with. If I were to do a build Brick 09's builds on this, it would be quite a long video that I don't really feel like doing since I just built this. But I'm sure you guys can figure it out. If not, if you have any questions, just type it in the comments. If you're really having trouble, you really need help, some of you out there, I'll try and do a BB09's builds episode of this. So let me know if anyone needs that to help them, and I will upload a video. But for now, I'll hope that you can all figure it out. But as I said, I'm willing to help. But let's go ahead and look at how to use the NXT buttons to navigate on the NXT Brick. So, to turn it on, you're just going to press the orange... No, let me move this back a little bit. You're just going to press the orange button. It's a little hard to see because of the glare. But you're going to navigate with the left and right arrows. You have a few things on here. My files, NXT program, NXT data log, view, Bluetooth, settings, and try me. For the most part, at least for me so far, you're just going to be using my files. And you have different kinds of files on here, and you'll see how to use those later on, more in the next video. So that's how you turn it on, and by the way, you select the items with the big orange button. To turn it off, you're just going to keep pressing the gray button at the bottom, that's the back button. And when you get the turn off signal, just hit the check mark with the orange button. To run a program, and that's what it's turning on. To run a program, you're just going to click on it. I don't have anything on there at the moment, so can't really show that. Well, here we go. I'll do a sound file. So it's going to talk. So you're just going to click on one, and then you can either run it or delete it, but for now we'll just run it. So I'll put it up here and click run, and you can hear it. It said hello in a British accent, a robotic British accent. And we'll try another one. Just going to say forward. A little hard to hear probably. Sound files aren't the best for sure. So in conclusion, you've learned to work with two essential robot components, the NXT Brick and the motors. So the next episode, which will be a lot longer than this one, I'm thinking, we're going to learn how to program the robot. And you'll be seeing some more of the robot, but for the most part we'll be looking at a computer screen as long as I can figure it out. But I've kind of committed myself now, so I'm going to have to figure out something. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably be a little while before that one comes on here, but I don't think it'll be that long, honestly. So thanks for tuning in. Happy robot building. We'll see you in the next episode when we learn programming.